We made it. 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 We made it, ladies. Welcome to the last episode of 2024. On today's episode of the Dear Single Women's podcast, we're going to talk all about making it. I got my big announcement for you, and I want to share with you something that we are going to take into 2025. Stay tuned for today's episode of the Dear Single Women's podcast. Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the Dear Single Women's podcast. I'm your host, Shanintra, and I thank you for being here. Please take a second to like the podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shanintra Says. Please rate the podcast 5 stars wherever you're listening to it right now. Please just take a second, rate me 5 stars so that other women can find the podcast. Thank you for all of the support, ladies. So we made it. We made it to the last day of 2024. I want to know, how was single life for you this year? Did you make any strides with your goals for your love life? Did you not have any goals? Maybe are there some you want to set for 2025, or you just like, well, we'll see what happens, and well, then what happened? I'd love to know. Speaking of that, I'm so excited to launch for you guys a brand new thing that I have in the works, and I hope you guys will like it. It's called the Serenity Circle. The Serenity Circle is a way for me to connect with my listeners and for my listeners to connect with each other. A few episodes ago, I spoke about community care, and I spoke about how important it is for people to feel, especially single women, to feel connected, to feel that they're not in this alone. I want to let you know, single doesn't have to mean solo. So I created the Serenity Circle, and that's time for us to get together. That's time for us to connect on a deeper level. Whatever I'm doing now is not going away, but I would like to add on some new things for you. One of them being bonus episodes of the Dear Single Women podcast. On the bonus episodes, I want to go deep. If you notice, I have not really spoken about sex on this podcast. I've mentioned it. I've rarely spoken about it in depth. There's a reason. One practical reason being, I'm somebody's first grade teacher, right? So that's not something I'm going to really speak about on a super public platform, such as where you're listening to it right now. But it's important. How can we talk about love life without talking about that very important topic? And so I want to go there with you. For those of you who want to join the Serenity Circle, you're going to get bonus episodes every week where we're going to talk all about sex and love and other things that I don't get to mention on the public podcast. Another perk that you get for joining the Serenity Circle is, speaking of that community care, we will meet once a month on Sundays. That's our Serenity Sundays. And we'll meet and we'll go live together. And that's a time where we can connect with each other. And you could connect with this global community that I have built and that I'm so proud of. I have listeners in 26 countries. I think that's incredible. Let's get together sometime. Let's meet. Let's talk. Let's come on camera. Let's connect. Community care is so important on this journey, and I think single women take that for granted. Sometimes we don't put enough into it because it feels like a very lonely, isolating road. Well, I've created something that will help solve that problem. It doesn't have to be lonely. Single doesn't have to mean solo. We can support each other together. And so that's something that I will do once a month on Sundays. And another perk that you get is my newsletter. I'll have a newsletter called The well-watered woman. If you feel like you've been in a desert, if you feel dried out, if you feel like your life has been unfruitful, right? When you water something, it grows. If your life has felt unfruitful, especially this past year, I have a special newsletter for you called The Well-Watered Woman. And it's just a short read of encouragement, of support, of hyping you up, of just giving you something that you can chew on, meditate on, take with you in your week, just to help you feel more nourished, watered, supported, encouraged. And that would be weekly for those who join the Serenity Circle. And the last perk that I have for you is quarterly giveaways. There are so many things that I have read and learned, and things that have just been beneficial to me as a woman, not just a single woman, but as a woman. And all of that knowledge and all of that insight, I want to turnkey that to you, but not just by telling you, hey, I recommend this book, as I've done in the past on this podcast. I actually will gift books and resources and tools and things that are just good for you as a woman to those special women who join the Serenity Circle. Quarterly giveaways. So if you join the Serenity Circle, you're automatically entered. You don't have to do anything else. You're automatically entered to win a special prize or gift from yours truly, the Single Woman Guru, the Single Woman Advocate. So you know whatever I give for you is going to be good. So those are some of the benefits, some of the perks that you get by joining the Serenity Circle. And of course, you get the community. You get that deeper connection with other single women around the world. I want us to connect on a deeper level in 2025. I love the podcast. I love where it's going, but I know that it can be so much greater. And so that's why I've created the Serenity Circle. So what do you have to do? Well, there's a link right in the description of this episode. Please click on the link. It's a landing page that will take you to the wait list for the Serenity Circle. Now, this wait list is not, it's exclusive and only certain people invited. No, if you listen to this podcast, this link is for you. It's a way for you to express interest in this new venture that I have created. It's a way for you to let me know that you are interested in joining the Serenity Circle. You are interested in going deeper in community and fellowship with like-minded single women. You are interested in getting supported in your single woman journey, in your journey as a woman, period. Because I say anything before marriage, this is for you. When I talk to single women, I'm talking to the spectrum of women. Anything before marriage, this Serenity Circle will be a benefit for you. And who knows, I'm praying for 2025, fingers crossed. Maybe we'll be transitioning into the Serenity Circle for newlyweds, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? I'd love that. But either way, I've created this for you. Signing up on the mail list lets me know that you are interested. The cost of the Serenity Circle it's a subscription based. It's $19.99 a month. And what that does is that guarantees that you get access to my members only podcast episodes. And I got some good ones for you. I can't wait to preview some of that with you in a future recording. Please click the link for more information. Sign up for the waiting list. It doesn't cost you anything just to sign up on the waiting list. That just lets me know that you're interested. That lets me know that you are ready to take your community care and your journey to the next level. That lets me know you're ready for total transformation. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, click the link, share the link with someone that you think would benefit from this level of care and support and community and fun and laughter and connection. I'll sign up as soon as you can because I'm going to close the wait list in about a week, and I will gauge from there where the interest is. Thank you, ladies. So one thing that has really stuck out to me. And I think this is helpful. This would be helpful advice for those of us who maybe want to set some intentions for our love life for 2025. Maybe those of us who want to um, really get out there and meet people, right? Because it is a numbers game. If you're not meeting men, you're not going to find your man. So we got to get out there and mingle and meet a lot of different people. I want to give you this piece of advice. As you can see from the title, bad men will test you early. And if you experience that with a guy, he's a bad man and you need to run. If I can put it in very, very simple terms. I noticed this when I was thinking about these two guys that I had entertained. And I wish that I had almost noticed it from the beginning because perhaps I wouldn't have entertained the other. But this will definitely stop me from entertaining men going forward who do this. Men who don't have good intentions towards you, they'll test you early. And the reason why I put the word early in there is because I'm a little torn on if it's okay to test someone at all, but I understand it may be something that you feel the need to do to weed out who's good and who's not good. So I'm not going to say a test period is a bad thing. I I don't really encourage women to test men or test the person they're with, but I do think that if it's something you feel like you need to do because you're unsure about the person, I'm not going to judge it. So I particularly say the word early because there is no reason for a guy to test you when you don't even know him. When you are just beginning to get to know this stranger, for someone to do little things to see how you'll react, that's a bad man. And that's someone that you need to cut off if you see that. So, examples. One of the guys that I was engaging with, we met online. Um, this is in 2023 because I didn't meet anybody in 2024. 2024 was very, very hard. I didn't even get to spend time, as I said in the last episode, getting points on the board. I was just trying to survive. So in 2023, at the end of, I met this guy, and from the beginning, we were trying to make arrangements to meet. And what he did was, on the day we were supposed to meet, he did like this disappearing act. And then tried to explain it later. And I realize that now that that was a test because, first of all, no one should be disappearing in the very beginning when you're just trying to get to meet up with somebody and make sure they are who they say they are, right? So if you're already playing those games in the very beginning, you're a bad man and you need to get away from me. The fact that he felt the need to do that in the beginning was a huge red flag, and I didn't realize it at the time. And my reaction to that was, of course, hurt, upset, did not want to deal with him. But because I had spent time connecting with him over the phone, I wanted to know what happened. And he talked to me about it, and I decided to give him another chance. Huge mistake, because what that told him was, I can ghost somebody that I'm just meeting and she'll still forgive me and move on. When he didn't deserve that level of forgiveness, he didn't deserve that level of sympathy, second chance, what do you want to call it? He didn't deserve it. But the fact that I was willing to do that, that was a test. And it taught him that this is somebody I can treat lower than she deserves right out the gate, and she'll give me another chance because of whatever reason. That's what that said to him. And ask me how I know it's true, because he did it again. After that, he did it again. And then tried to come back again with like some, I'm just really sorry and I'm having these issues. Now, of course, it didn't work the second time. Like, I cut him off completely. But the point was still made to him. That's why he felt comfortable doing it again and then coming back for a third time to apologize and explain. And will I just give him another chance? And he's just going through some things and all this stuff. He was testing me to see what he could get away with. Can I disrespect this woman by ghosting her before I even ever met her? Right? Comfortable talking on the phone and everything, really comfortable talking on the phone. But when it comes time to meet, I do that to her. And I'm able to still talk with her on the phone after. Yeah, took some time because I was upset, I was hurt, but I forgave and I continued. We kind of like resumed, you know? And that told him something. That told him that I didn't have enough self-respect to cut off what essentially is a stranger, um, who's like losing it before we can even get to the point of meeting. He's crashing out. So that was a test. That was intentional. He wanted to know where the bar was. What could he get away with? And unfortunately, I made him think a lot. And I have another example with this other guy. Met him at work. You all know him. Met him at work, and I would notice that he would flirt with me all week, Monday through Friday. And then when Friday come, he would leave and go home. And never like followed up on that. Never said, "Oh, it's Friday. Would you like to, can I take you out to dinner?" Or, whatever. "Can I get to know you? What are you doing after work? It's the weekend." Never, never. And I'm talking, this flirting went on for weeks. And every Friday, he was perfectly content, have a good weekend, go about his business. Well, I realized that that was a test early, before we even got a chance to get to the point of getting to know each other outside of work. He was already seeing how much of a plaything I was willing to be. And I unfortunately was kind of like a plaything. He'd flirt with me, I'd flirt back, I'd smile, I'd dress up really cute, I'd do my hair really nice and all that good stuff. And I was receptive to it. Whereas if I had shut that down after the first Friday, right? After the first week of flirting with me and you didn't actually follow through with it, after that first one, if I shut it down, he would have known that I wasn't one to be played with. He was testing me early to see where was my level. What was I willing to accept? And unfortunately, he got the memo that I was willing to accept a lot for reasons unbeknownst to him. But the message was still given and the message was still received, because like I said, it went on for weeks and I didn't realize that he was testing me. He didn't know me, so he wanted to see where I was. Let me play a little game with her and see if she shut me down right away or what. And I didn't. And it wasn't until it hit me like, yeah, wait, this dude is perfectly fine holding the door open for me, smiling at me, looking at me, flirting with me, doing this, doing that. And then Friday comes and he's perfectly fine, just going about his merry way. By the time I realized that, I realized it, I cut him off. He came in the next day ready to do it again, flirt. And I just, no smile, no reaction, no eye contact. You don't exist. And it was like texting me, "What's wrong? What's going on? Is something, did I do something?" Blah blah blah. And I was just like, "Yeah, no, like you look very beautiful today." Da 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 da. Nope, like not interested. Um, and the issue with that was by the time I did step into the realm that I deserved, by the time I did say enough, I'm not your plaything, I was already secretly hooked. I'm gonna be real. I was already hooked, and that led to, what was that, 2019. That was 2020. That led to about 3.5 years of what felt like bondage, trying to get that person out of my system, because it led to me getting hooked. And then of course I just dove in even more, and the more we started creating a history and experiences, I got even more hooked. And it turned out to be, I guess, a blessing, right? Because I wouldn't have I wouldn't be doing this podcast if I hadn't gone through that. Go check my second episode titled Grieving Us. um I tell you, that's where it came from. That's where this healing journey has come from. So I guess it turned out to be a good thing, but I did lose a lot in that, even though I gained a lot. And as we go into this new year, as we start meeting new men, as we start, if that's, what you want to do, if that's where your focus is for the new year, I just want you to keep in mind that men who don't want anything serious from you, they're going to throw out those little games early. They're going to test you early. They're going to see where your bar is early. I think a good man would not do that. I think a good man would just want to get to know you and see who you are, how you are. You can naturally gauge where someone is, just by engaging with them and getting to know them. But that's not what those two men were interested in those two examples I gave you. They were not interested in getting to know me. They were interested in seeing, how is the word low? How low is this beautiful woman willing to go with me? How how much of her worth does she recognize that she has? And that little test was to see how much of my worth I had internalized. And in both examples, it wasn't a lot, it wasn't enough. I think I wanted to be loved more than my willingness to maintain my self-respect. And that caused me to fall into their test and fail their test. Because if they had saw from the very beginning, like the way he came rushing in the second example, the way the guy came rushing more when I ignored him, shut him down, he would have realized that from the first week, except I wouldn't have been so hooked in. I wouldn't have gone back. I just would be like, yeah, this dude's playing games. He's flirting with me all week, and then Friday comes and he doesn't invite me out. He doesn't ask me out for dinner. Like, he's playing games. I would have cut it off, and that would have been that. But that was a test to see what he could get away with. And unfortunately, he got away with a lot. And so I'm just going to encourage you that as you go into your new year and as you're meeting people, as you're putting yourself out there to find your person, make sure you look out for those signs. If you see that early on he's playing little games and you feel like it's a test, maybe he's trying to see where you are and what you'll allow and what you'll accept, that's a bad person. That is a bad person, and you need to run. Run in the opposite direction. Notice it early, cut it off early before your emotions and your heart gets attached. If he's just trying to get to know you and see what kind of person you are, that's a good person. He can naturally see, just by spending time with you, if you are someone that is worth continuing with. And you the same with him. You don't have to play games. You can just see who he is, how he engages with you, how he acts, and that'll tell you all you need to know. Little stupid games, the sole purpose of that is to see what they can get away with because they have ulterior motives and they have bad intentions towards you. Little test will see what little tests will let them know what it is you'll allow and what it is you won't allow. And you don't have to put up with that from someone you don't even know. Like, you literally don't know them. If you met them online, you don't know them. If you've gone out on one date with them, you don't know them. And there's no reason that they should be doing things like that. I hope that this guides you on your path for 2025 as you're out there and you're meeting people. I thank you for listening, and I wish you a beautiful, blessed new year. I am praying for favor for everyone under the sound of my voice. I'm praying that this year you would see growth in your love life because you deserve, you are worthy, you deserve a loving, good man. I was about to say something dirty. I'm sorry. I'll save that for the Serenity Circle. Ladies, sign up on the wait list. Click the link in the description. That will let me know. I need your name, your email, and there's a little question there. That will let me know if there's interest. That will let me know how to proceed with my what I think is really a great idea. But I'd like to hear from you, the audience. I always like to hear from you. Shoot me an email. ShawneeSays135@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Dear Single Women's Podcast. Happy New Year!